Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, I hope you're doing well wherever you are. This is Kenya Revolutionary. Sorry, I've been caught up with life. Life has been happening, so I've been off for a minute, but I've been following here and there about news in Kenya, the happenings in Kenya, and in the world in general. As you know, I'm not going to bore you. You probably have seen on CNN, everywhere else. It seems like we're in the brink of World War III with Israel and Iran attacking each other. But that's not what I'm here to talk about today. My concentration today is to briefly talk about this whole Albert Ojwang's death, not the details per se, but why I find um, what I call the narrative battle that's happening. What the political class wants to relay to the masses and the reaction thereof by the people of Kenya. And this is also pertains to the general protest, the Gen Z protest that's happening today, now as we speak. We know there are some paid goons who are paid by the government, Sakaja to be exact, and others, among others, who sent Gaucho and his crew to go down to CBD, Nairobi, to, try to disrupt the Mandamano. But again, this protest is also, I'm kind of, I don't know, I have questions. I usually question everything. I told you guys, always question everything. Okay. Francis Irungu is in Nairobi. Says, thank you so much, Francis Irungu is telling you I'm in Nairobi. Nairobi is hot. Thank you so much, Francis Irungu. Subscribe, share, like, and hit the like button. Before I get started, thank you so much, Irungu, for giving me an update of what's going on in Nairobi. Before I get started in what I want to speak about is, I want to speak generally and say, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, if this is your first time in this channel, please take a moment and hit the like button, subscribe, share, comment, do all the good stuff, okay? And if you're going to watch this on repeat, put the notification bell on so when, I come in, I'm all mixed up. I know I'm saying it wrong. But anyway, the first order of business, that is to like the video, okay? All right, let's get to the matter. I want to start with this. I'll get to the Mandamano that's happening right now. Again, thank you so much, Francis Irungu, for telling me Nairobi CBD is hot. I want to start by not a short story, but a description of something that happened years ago in the United States of America. They used to have an investigative reporter from Indianapolis, okay? His name was Gary Webb. Gary Webb wrote an article, okay? A very, very, very crazy article. Not crazy, but I'm just saying it was a very informative article that shed light about the involvement of the CIA in armed dealings and the drugs that come in the US, okay? Now, after Gary Webb wrote this article, he was found dead in his office, I believe, or in his house somewhere. And the funny thing is that when the autopsy was done, they found like he had two bullet wounds, okay? One at the back of his head and one on the side of his head, okay? And of course, the autopsy ruled that it was suicide, okay? Of course, to the public, people had questions because they were saying, how can somebody shoot himself 2 times with one gun, okay? People who usually commit suicide by a gunshot, by shooting themselves, they can only afford themselves one shot in the head. If they're going to blow their brains out, you can only get off one shot, like, bow, and you are done. But, after careful examination of this whole Gary Webb story, I'm not talking about the story that he reported on, I'm talking about just the story surrounding his death, it was obvious that the people who are responsible for unaliving him, okay, because obviously it was not suicide, but the people who are responsible for unaliving him, they have the sole intention to pass a message that, hey, if you're going to expose an very powerful intelligence community like a CIA, you will be unalived, okay? And there will nothing that will happen. It will be ruled as suicide, and maisha itaendelea, okay? Now you might be sitting there and asking, why am I telling you a story about Gary Webb that happens in the 90s or 80s, whatever the case it happened to, that was in the US? I want to relate it with Albert Ojwang's story, death, and also the battle, the Gen Z protest that's happening in Nairobi now, as Francis Rungu is also telling us, paid goons in motorcycles fighting with demonstrators in CBD. Absolutely, yes. And I will tell you why. I'll come to that in a minute. It's all related. This is not by accident. I'm telling you these things because I want to relate that story of Gary Webb and what's happening in CBD Nairobi with the Gen Zs battling the paid goons that are in motorcycles, okay? And also with Albert Ojwang's death, okay? Now, I will say this about Albert Ojwang, and I will be very brief. Like I said, I will not stay here for long. I'll just be brief. So I want you to watch what's happening in Kenya with, a bad eye, so to speak, okay? Now, if you look at the sequence of events leading up to Albert Ojwang's death, and also the following investigations, the official statements that were given by the DCI, DIG, all the authorities that were supposed to, investigate this thing, IPOA, DCI, and whatever the case, okay? You can tell that they were, their story was not straight, okay? There were varying stories, versions of what's happened to Mr. Albert Ojwang. But one thing is for sure is that he was tortured and killed, okay? It seems like when Nuruddin, that guy, was giving a statement, it was being debunked by the CCTV camera, or the DCI will offer another statement, which this is not done. This is the point I'm making. This is not done to actually discredit what the official story is. This is done to have you understand that if you're going to go after the powerful, the so-called powerful, they're not powerful, but this corrupt political class of Kenya, if you're going to go after them, if you're going to write an article which exposes their corrupt deal, if you're going to protest against them, if you're going to be actively speaking out against these corrupt political elites, they shall come for you and they will unalive you. That's basically the message they're spending. They're sending. They want you to be discouraged, and they're demonstrating this by the inconsistencies in different version of the story of events leading up to Albert Ojwang's death. They're not giving you different version of the story, or lying to you, or trying to cover up his death, or how he died, or why he died. That's not what they're trying to do. They're not trying to hide it away from you. It is a form of arrogance. You understand what I'm saying? They're doing this to show you that we can do this to you and get away with this, and there will be nothing that will happen to those who are responsible for that. Do not be buying into that young man who was, the police that was detained, who was saying, sijui Albert alipelekwa kwa Mabusu. Mabusu was supposed to sijui torture him, and he was not supposed to die. Don't buy into those stories. The overall story, the overall mission, the overall mission and the message that these corrupt elites are trying to pass to the masses, especially to those of us who want to speak against this political corrupt elite. The message is, if you are going to mention things that have to do with us, our corrupt dealings, we shall analyze you, and there's nothing you can do about it. As you can see, the system is in our favor. You will not find justice, and your family will not find justice. Same thing with the protest. Let me get to the protest now. Now I've seen that Laban nakuona hapo, karibu sana. Nice seeing you, brother. It's been a long time. Nasema currently the police of Kenya have done justice than in the past. The president is indeed a man of God. Laban, I think you're a troll, but whatever the case is. Here it is. Now, let's get to the protest of today that's happening right now. I will cover it again later in the day. I just want to speak from the few things that I've seen so far, okay? To the investigation, Laban, yeah, whatever. But anyway, number one, the number one thing that I was discouraging to me was seeing Hanifa as being part of this mandamano. What people are letting her come to this mandamano, and she's out there trying to be the center of attention. All of a sudden, she found the nearest camera and she came out and said, "Oh, the police came and the goons came and roughed me up. Wakachukua simu yangu, but I was able to come." She's always wants to be the center of everything. A typical commercial activist, sort of like Boniface Mwangi. Always want to create a narrative and a story. Listen to what I'm trying to say, ladies and gentlemen, because maybe you might be lost in the sauce. Let me bring you back so you can understand the point I'm trying to make here, okay? The protest, the Gen Z protest right now, should not be just a protest because people are going out there having fun, or it's about justice for Ojwang. That's fine and good. We want justice for Ojwang. The protest should not just be about the finance bill. Yes, there's some things in this finance bill which we might not want there and we might like to protest against. That's not the message here. The protest should be Occupy State House 2025. That's the hashtag that I should be seeing. Removing Ruto and the political class, entire Kenyan political class, corrupt political class. Kama ni kwenda maandamano, watu wende maandamano, ndio Ruto Zakayo atoke, the whole parliamentary, judicial, legislative system, all of them should be removed. Okay? But number one, the thing that I want to say is this. Immediately when I saw Hanifa being part of this protest, I knew this protest is not going to be nothing but another day of PSYOPs activity. Choreographed what? Crisis actors being involved in this PSYOP. They want to make this, listen, because I told you the last video I made, I told you Ruto is in a panic mode when the country was angry about the death of Albert Ojwang. And to confirm that Ruto was in a panic mode, a day before the actual mandamano, he decides, to tap the shoulder of his lieutenant, Lagat, so that he writes a letter saying that he's stepping down. Not stepping down, but stepping aside. Stepping aside is not a resignation. He wants to play that, he's stepping aside so an investigation can take place. Then, after they find that that Pansy, who is in the remande, once they find him guilty, Lagat will come back again and become the DIG, because he'll offer press conference. Kama temperatures, once people forget about Albert Ojwang, Lagat will come back and say, okay, I stepped aside so the investigation can be carried out. Now that the young man has been caught up and he has confessed and is guilty and he has been, amepelekwa jela. Now I can come back and continue with my duties as the DIG. You see what I'm saying? It was never a resignation letter. That's the mischief in this. But I'm not even concerned about that. I'm not saying that I'm not concerned about the death of Ojwang and the justice, finding justice for him. I'm just saying, hizi ni vipindre. These are jokes. Coming back to the protest, I'm telling you, the protest right now has been 100% hijacked by crisis actors, paid goons, and a police force that are happy to showcase their might in the streets of Nairobi. That's what's happening right now. Like I told you, they created an environment. It's a theater of choreographed fake protestations, conflict between the so-called goons who are backed by the police and the crisis actors like the Hanifas. Hanifa does not care about the Ojwang family one bit. Hanifa cares about herself and the fame she can get as long as she is being on the news, na yeye ako kwa gazeti ya Nation, and she gets invited to have an exclusive interview in all these silly documentaries, the BBC and all, whatever the case is, and she has a huge following on X, and she's, anapiga picha akijifanya vile how pretty she is, she thinks she is, and all that stuff. That's all Hanifa cares about. But he has some of you fooled that she's actually fighting for Kenyan people. So that's what I'm saying. Now, like I say, the number one red flag was Hanifa is in the center of this protest. That shows me that this whole thing is what? This whole thing is choreographed. There's nothing to it. Hii ni maandamano tu ya kupiga makelele. Why? Let me tell you something. This whole drama was happening in CBD. That script iliandikwa State House last week. It is being enacted right now. It's part of Ruto's contingency plan to try to create a narrative that will deter the real revolution from happening. Let me explain to you. Hanifa, by now, if you don't know that Hanifa is part of the NIS, government intelligence, okay? You are slow. This is not your class. If you don't know that by now, this is not a class for you. Your class is down the hallway. Find it. This is advanced class. This is not political science 101. This is not introduction to political science. No. Hanifa is working for the government of Kenya. Her and Boniface Mwangi and that Ahmed, I don't know what this human rights, stupid people that are pretend to be fighting for human rights. Those people are working for this government. Now, look at what's happened. The useful idiot called Gaucho, he's playing his role. He gets paid, saying that, he's supposed to be the guy who's playing the Raila goons, the representatives of the broad-based government people. He represents the Azimio fact, the old DM faction of this political class. Okay? The people who are pretending not to be in government while they are in government. Unaelewa? Listen. So Gaucho comes out, now with full blessings of Raila Odinga and Ruto and Gachagua and all of them. I told you, this is one big club. They're in the same WhatsApp group. Usidanganywe, Gaucho has direct line with Gachagua and Wamalwa and all these people. He's just about to carry out, hii ni kazi yake. Okay? Karibu sana Shimariam. Hit the like button. So here is what's happening. Let me explain to you what's happening very quickly because it's a simple concept. Gaucho has been hired. Wanafanya hizi hadharani. They're doing this hadharani because, like I said, this is a battle of narratives. What they're trying to suppress is the idea of people going to the streets to remove Ruto from office through popular revolution. Mass protest, peaceful protest, because they understand that going to the streets to remove Ruto like the Bangladeshi did remove their prime minister is enshrined in the constitution. It's not illegal. And I told you, one thing that Ruto and the whole political class fears is a mass protest by the people of all tribes, all parts of Kenya, ethnicity. That is what Ruto fears. He's not as scared of Gachagua. I know you, I see, if you think Nani Gachagua is giving Ruto sleepless nights because anasema ati sijui nini, you're stupid. I'm sorry to say that. Because I keep on telling you, if Gachagua was really, really against Ruto, Gachagua will be in jail or angekuwa ameshakufa saizi. Forget those stories that sijui aliyekewa sumu kwa nini water tanks. You need. Hizo ni ma story. I keep on telling you, it's drama. Gachagua has been put there to play that role. Anajifanya ati yeye sasa ndio mtu he's the one who's funding this ethnic tribal politics. He's part of it. He's still a friend of Ruto. Wako group moja. Don't be fooled. If Gachagua was Ruto's enemy, these people and Raila's enemy, Gachagua wangekuwa jela ama ameshauliwa saizi. If they can kill Ogola, you think Gachagua hawezi kuwa Gachagua? That's why I'm telling you. Mpaka tuangalie ile mchezo inachezwa hapa. This is the political class. Wanaeka hizi vipindi mingi hapa CBD leo. Like I told you, if you want to know that there's a kipindi inaendelea hapa, the first person you'll see in the scene ni Boniface Mwangi na Hanifa. And all that nani yule mse wa human rights hujifanya amekaa mwarabu hivi. I forgot his name. Very stupid guy. Ahmed sijui nini. Unasikia? If you want to know something is ninio, hii ni psyop, immediately ukiona nani Hanifa, Boniface Mwangi, Martha Karua, hiyo ni psyop inaendelea hapo. There's a narrative they want to write. Is being created there. Unasikia? So that's why I told you, immediately. No, think about this. Hold on. Let me help you out. Let me help you guys. I want you to think critically. Critical thinking. Critical thinking. Think about this. Think about this. Number one, why would Sakaja, okay, I invite Gaucho's goons, waende hapo inaitwaje? City Center, whatever the case is. Wapewe hizo ma pikipiki and those clubs, and they are making videos saying, oh, kesho mjaribu kukuja hiyo mninio maandamano mtaona. Okay, wazi. Then Hanifa, that NIS government worker, Ruto's minion, who is pretending to be a human rights defender, Hanifa takes the center stage. Yeye ndio sasa ati sasa tunaenda maandamano, kesho maandamano itaendelea. Who is Hanifa? Hanifa does not have any real revolutionary credential. Hanifa is not a Kenyan. Huyu ni Msomali ametoka hapo Somalia hapa amekuja kuleta Al-Shabaab hapo Kenya. Kuleta chaos. And I'll say that unapologetically, and you can sue me. Hamtanipeleka mahali. Hanifa ni Al-Shabaab ambao ameletwa hapo Kenya kuleta mizozo. Ruto is doing business with them. Lakini amekuwa na kina Duale hapo, na amekuwa na Gachagua hapo, na amekuwa na Uhuru Kenyatta hapo, na amekuwa na Raila hapo, na Martha Karua, na Wamalwa, to play a part, pretending to be a human rights activist, to be paid to be chief protester. Yeye ndio sasa anajifanya ati kesho ndio kutakuwa na maandamano. She determines maandamano, what kind of maandamano we have. Ile ujinga kina Boniface Mwangi hapo kujifanya ati usijui waliwekewa nini kwa matako vile walienda Tanzania. To spoil the name of nani? Samia Suluhu. Kwa sababu Suluhu ametoa ninio wa Marekani kwa kunio atumii pesa ya Amerikani. But these people are being paid by these westerners. Waharibu hizi nchi za Afrika. Kwa sababu wataki an independent, economically independent African nation. These are the kind of traitors that we have in Kenya. Ambao wanatumiwa, and they are very busy with their psyops za kila siku. Because their aim wanataka to destroy that idea of Kenyans coming together to remove this political class. Hao wakina Gachagua. To remove people like Raila Odinga, to remove Ruto, to remove the Kenyattas, to remove the Moi family, the Biwott family, so that we can reclaim the money that they waliiba. To remove people like Jimmy Wanjigi, who's pretending to be Ninio, so he cares about the debt and Ninio. Ani watu ambao wamekula kwa hii system. Ndio maana nawaambia hii maandamano ya leo imekuwa ni psyop. Majority of the people who are going there do not know it is, but the main characters ndio wako hapo, and they are going to direct this maandamano vile wanataka iende. Gaucho, why would Gaucho? No, think about this. Listen to me. Nataka mnisikie vizuri. Karibu sana Mugande Katende. Nice seeing you, my brother. The first order of business to like the video, subscribe, share, comment, and do all the good stuff. No, nataka mfikirie. I want you to think critically. Why would Gaucho and his goons openly go to City Hall, wapewe pikipiki na ninio na marungu na panga to go stop the protest? If you're going to do such atrocity, if you truly want to do something like that, you would do it in secret. Mkutane mausiku na mpiane vitu. When Sudi was arming those Nandi ninio in Eldoret wakati wa maandamano, we never saw videos of them being given money na panga na rungu vile to stop the maandamano in Eldoret. But this is done to create a narrative. Ati ODM iko na serikali, na ODM pamoja na Ruto wameshikana na polisi waende wakapigane na Gen Z. And Gen Z, the Gen Z side, unaona Gaucho being somebody who's paid, he's also being paid to also reinforce that narrative at Gen Z saizi are under the control of Gaucho of Gachagua. At Gen Z ni watu wa Mount Kenya, ni vijana wa Mount Kenya. You see the narrative they're painting. At Gen Z now is not young people or Kenyans from across the country or of different ethnic background. Now wamegeuza at Gen Z are people who are being sponsored by Gachagua. They are youth from Mount Kenya. That is the narrative ambao sasa wanaandika. The police and the goons that were hired with the pikipiki are the broad-based members. They are hired by broad-based members. But the Gen Zs who are on the streets ni watu ambao wamelipwa na nini? Ni vijana wa Mount Kenya ambao wametumwa na Gachagua. That is the narrative that they want you to believe. That's the battle here. Kwa sababu their aim, niliwaambia nini? Uoga yao is a real organic grassroots revolutionary movement like we saw on the 25th. Na 25th inakaribia, so they have to start these maandamanos of fake one, create chaos to discourage a real grassroots movement from reoccurring again in June 25th of this month. Mnashika ama bado mmezubaa? Because a lot of people are falling for this nonsense that's going on. When niliwaambia nini? Nataka mnisikie tena. Whenever you see that Ahmed sijui nani wa human rights nonsense, whenever you see Boniface Mwangi, whenever you see Hanifa, whenever you see Mutunga, whenever you see Martha Karua, know that these are people who are being paid by Ruto to create a narrative. They are the fake opposition pretending to be to be advocating for majority of Kenyans. But these are actually another tentacle of the political elites. Wanajifanya ati wanakuja ati hao ni watu wa human rights, wanajifanya ati wanakuja kutetea wale watu ambao Gen Z ambao wameshikwa, wanajifanya ati wanapigania Ojwang, wanajifanya ati wanapigania sijui nini, but they are actually there to pacify the movement, because the movement, the talk was to occupy State House. Whether Ojwang finds justice, whether finance finance bill impitishwe ama isipitishwe, whether Ojwang finds justice or not, the move was to occupy State House na remove Ruto, na baada ya remove Ruto, wakina Gachagua, Ruto, Raila, Uhuru, wanyongwe wote na Kalonzo na Wamalwa. That was the aim. But the narrative now is being written by these people, paid commercial activists like Hanifa, taking the center stage. Yeye ndio na decide ati watu wanaenda maandamano lini. Gaucho on the other side is representing the broad base. And they are making it as if hawa Gen Z ni vijana wa Mount Kenya ambao wanalipwa na Gachagua. You see what I'm saying? And that's why you see CBD today, everything that's happening to CD, majority of it is vipindi, cinema. And the reason is for you to get discouraged from the 25th of June, because uoga wao ni ati Gen Z watajitokeza tena 25th nationwide. And this time wajaribu kutoa Ruto. Now hii political class yote wakina Gachagua. Because let me tell you something that you may not know. Because I know you guys, you get confused so much by these people. Do you know something? If Ruto is removed from power, this is something that these people don't understand. Let me tell you something. Nisikie vizuri. Vuta kiti karibu. Vuta karibu. Move karibu. Hey, nyinyi mmekaa huko nyuma. Come closer. If Ruto is removed today, Gachagua has no feet to stand on. Raila has no feet to stand on. Mnanisikia? Niwaeleze tena. Kalonzo have no foot. Martha Karua have no, hawatakuwa na job. Gachagua is only relevant because the boogeyman, the bad guy who he can wake up and point at is Ruto. If Ruto is removed, Gachagua is an empty debe. He has nothing. What is his CV? What has Gachagua done for Kenya besides killing his own people in Molo and now Kabila? What has Gachagua done? He has always been on the wrong side of history. If Ruto comes out right now and is removed, what will Raila stand on? He has lost all the support he used to have. Nobody cares about him. He is a con man with nothing to offer Kenyans anymore. Uhuru has finished his term. He's useless. He's waiting to be jailed, to be taken to committee. Kalonzo is a soft man. Can't stand for anything. Eugene Wamalwa might as well call himself Eunice Wamalwa. Martha Karua, what can he offer Kenyans? What has she done for Kenya? She has nothing to stand on. Hata akimbia huko na Basiji na mambo ya Tundu Lissu, because she has nothing to do with the life. Hana kitu, ni useless. Ukabila na ukabila ndio amesimamia, and corruption. There's nothing these people can offer you. These people have no skills. They have no education. They're not hard workers. They've made their names by exploiting poor Kenyans and creating this narrative that they're leaders. But they're nothing but leeches. They're parasites of the society, of Kenyan society. That's why they receive checks from George Soros and all these Western-backed globalists, satanist globalists, to bring evil agenda on the African people. These people are useless. That's why I'm telling you, Gachagua anapiga makelele hapo, lakini if Ruto leaves today, Gachagua has no foot to stand on. Raila has no foot to stand on. These people are useless. Totally useless. The only thing they can stand on ni sasa ni ukabila. Waanze kusema sisi cousins, sisi watu wa Mount Kenya, sisi kama watu wa Jaluo, sisi kama... These are people who are useless. I'm telling you, ukiangalia hawa watu ni hakuna kitu wako na, they're empty devils. Intellectually they're not there. Mali wamepata kwa njia ufisadi. If you sit in a room and speak to Martha Karua, you'll know how stupid she is. Intellectually deficient. If you sit with Raila Odinga, you can one-on-one wahoji, you can see how silly these people are. Kaa chini na Ruto, uangalie vile how stupid this person is. Gachagua can barely wipe his own ass. But they can only thrive in an environment where exploitation, murder, extrajudicial killing, when there's chaos. That's why they have to create this vipindi ya protests, ya urongo na ukweli, ya ukabila, to continue this, perpetuating this the difference, tribal difference. To just recap, Albert Ojwang's death was a message to Kenyan Gen Zs, so-called Gen Zs. When I speak of Gen Zs, I'm not talking about generation as far as age is concerned. I'm talking about anyone who's politically active, who's advocating for a better Kenya, who's challenging the corrupt political system of Kenya. These colonial puppets that are put in place by Western neo-colonialists to subdue, oppress, depress, compress the population. Hawa wakina Ruto, hawa wakina Gachagua, hawa wakina Raila, hawa wakina Uhuru Kenyatta, hawa wakina Gideon Moi, hawa wakina Wamalwa, hawa wakina Martha Karua. They are part of Lagat. Wote. Nigoro moja. Usifikiri ati ni mninio. they're just pretending ati mtu akikufa hapa ati wanajifanya ati hao pia sawa wanataka kuprotest au hao pia wanawapigania ati sijui nini. And they're part of this whole crisis actors, wakina Boniface Mwangi, Willy Mutunga, Hanifa. Those are part of the political class. Haven't you wondered how active these people have been since June last year? Ndio maana nasema hii ni mchezo wa town. There's no maandamano up there today. Hii maandamano iko lakini haiko. It is being controlled, man managed, stage managed. I'm not saying that there are people there who are not genuinely protesting for a better Kenya, but they're being stage managed. Hanifa already came out and spoke to Standard on camera. Anasema ati magunzu walikuja wakampiga wakachukua simu yake alafu she was able to take it back. Make it the protest about her. She's asserting herself as the main character. Akona main character syndrome. Uliona vile nani alikufa, Albert Ojwang alikufa. Eric Omondi went and condoled with the Ninio family. Akatoa Ninio. Ile namba ya kupiga ndio Ninio. Hanifa naye did not want to be left Ninio stranded. Hata yeye pia kaeka kimbelembele, kierere. Hata yeye pia kuna Ninio, pays Ninio. Namba hapo, mpige hiyo namba chukue ndio aibe pesa yenu vile aliiba pesa ya ile last time. Niliwaambia watu ni opportunists. Hao watu wanaabudu shetani. How can you take an advantage of a family that is mourning their son? Or the Gen Zs, the families of the Gen Zs who got injured last year na walikufa kina Rex. Hanifa and Boniface Mwangi, this is how they make their millions. This is a pill that is hard to swallow. But mtaininio mpaka muimeze. Hii tembe mpaka muimeze. And it will take you, some of you, a long time to realize that you're actually being played by the Hanefas and the Gauchos. Waeke hizi protest. Hii protest imewekwa for a reason. To create a narrative. Ati Gen Zs wamenuliwa na Gachagua na Gaucho ako kwa serikali, and goons these goons were talking to the police wazi. They're coordinating their movements. Ati sisi tuendeni hapa na nyinyi mtatokezea hivi na nyinyi mtatokezea vile. It is because, listen, because think about it. If Gachagua is running the Gen Z, is so-called the protesters, the Gen Z is the protesters, okay? I'm going by their narrative. If Gachagua is controlling the Gen Zs that are ambao wana protest, and Gaucho, who is part of the broad base, paid by the broad base, is controlling the who? Is controlling the goons ambao walitokezea na ninio on behalf of the blood-based government. Then where are the tribeless, leaderless, partyless Gen Zs that wanted to bring down Ruto and the whole political class? Where are they? Because they are not being represented in this protest so far, as I can see. Hii kitu iko stage managed. I will leave it here for now as we continue to see what unravels in today's protest in Nairobi. I'll make another video. Like I said, anytime you see Hanifa in the middle of anything, know that that is something that is choreographed, is a government-initiated movement of protest, controlled. Because think about it. June 25th, you remember June 25th? Were there any property that was damaged. Besides kabla wale ma ODM goons walikuja, Sakaja's goons, nothing was damaged. And even before that, hata ile magari zilichomwa huko na nani, zile zilichomwa zilikuwa gari za government ambazo zilichomwa last protest. And they used to choma that so they can justify bringing wakina Gaucho, because they want to bring an Inyo. The narrative is they want to maliza ile narrative ya occupy state house ya kutoa Ruto this time. Wanataka kuweka hii narrative mpya ati it is the Gen Z protesters who are being bought and sold by Gachagua versus Gaucho's goons who represent the broad-based government. That is the narrative that they're trying to bring for. But anyway, let's watch what happens in the news as it unravels. I'll come in the evening for another session where we can talk more and break down what's happening in this protest and what is happening in Kenya in general. My name is Kenya Revolutionary. I'll talk to you guys later. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, and do all the good stuff, okay? I will talk to you guys later. Let me shout out to Omuganda, Katende, Shimariam, Pritpa Kaur, and Francis Irungu, Laban Misiani. Too nice seeing you. I haven't seen you for a while. Peace and blessings. I'll see you guys later. I'm out.